The Galactic Border Patrol Station floated in the cold vacuum of space, its sensors scanning the void for any signs of intruders. For years, the border had remained peaceful, with only minor disputes between alien factions. But tonight was different. An urgent distress signal flashed on every console, filling the command room with a deep red glow. Officers scrambled to their stations, their eyes filled with confusion and fear. The lead officer, Captain Zelvar, narrowed his eyes as he read the incoming report. Unknown warship detected. Speed, extreme. Direction, straight toward the border. Zelvar turned to his second-in-command. Is it one of ours? The officer shook his head. Negative, sir. The design doesn't match any known fleets in the Galactic database. Zelvar's claws tapped nervously against the control panel. He ordered the long-range scanners to zoom in on the approaching vessel. A large, dark shape emerged on the holographic display. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. Sleek, sharp, and predatory. Its hull shimmered as if absorbing the surrounding light. Its energy signatures were off the charts, pulsing with an unnatural intensity. By the stars, whispered one of the officers. The Galactic Council was immediately alerted. Within minutes, the highest-ranking officials of the galaxy appeared on the main screen. Their faces, scaled, furred, and metallic, reflected the same unease. "What is it?" demanded Supreme Chancellor Orvis, his reptilian eyes narrowing. "We don't know, Chancellor," Zelvar responded. "It's approaching at impossible speed. Its energy readings surpass any known technology." A council member, a cybernetic being named Vortek, spoke in a mechanical tone. "We must destroy it before it crosses the border." Others objected. "We don't even know who they are. We should observe before making a hostile move." The debate raged, but the warship continued its approach. Attempts to communicate were made. Dozens of languages, emergency signals, even universal distress codes were sent, but there was no response. "Nothing?" Zelvar asked. "Nothing, sir." The tension in the room thickened. The Galactic Council had faced many threats before: pirates, rogue AI, planetary invasions. But this was different. This ship carried an unknown power, something that made their most advanced fleets look like primitive toys. As the countdown began, the question remained: was this an invasion, or was something even greater at play? And then the warship slowed down, right at the edge of the border. Silence filled the room. The aliens held their breath. Humanity had arrived. The massive warship had come to a halt, hovering just outside the galactic border. It didn't fire weapons. It didn't send a message. It simply remained there, watching. Inside the Galactic Border Patrol Station, Captain Zelvar and his officers stared at the monitors, their screens filled with the image of the dark, mysterious vessel. "Why did it stop?" one officer asked. Zelvar had no answer. The ship was too quiet. No threats, no demands. Just waiting. The Galactic Council was still connected, their faces reflecting unease. Supreme Chancellor Orvis clenched his jaw. "This is a test," he muttered. "They're watching how we react." "We should strike first," Vortek, the cybernetic counselor, argued. "If they won't communicate, they must be hiding something." A more cautious council member, High Scholar Lethana, shook her head. "That would be foolish. What if their silence is a warning?" The debate continued, but Zelvar's attention was on his scanners. Something was changing. The energy readings from the human warship spiked for a moment, then stabilized. It was as if the ship was adjusting to them, studying them in real time. "Sir," a technician called out, his voice uneasy. "We're detecting movement." Everyone turned to the screen. The warship's hull began to shift. Panels moved and expanded, revealing hidden weapon systems. Enormous turret batteries, missile bays, and energy cannons emerged from the ship's smooth exterior. It had been hiding its true power. Panic filled the control room. "They're powering weapons," someone shouted. "No," Zelvar said quickly. He squinted at the readings. They're not charging. They're showing us a warning. The humans had made no aggressive moves. They were simply revealing what they had been hiding. A silent message, one far more powerful than words. Orvis exhaled slowly. They want us to know that they are not to be underestimated. But why? Lethana asked. What do they want? Before anyone could answer, the warship sent a transmission. One simple message, in flawless galactic standard. We are here to talk. Stand down. The room fell silent. The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. No one had expected diplomacy. The human warship held its position, waiting for a response. Captain Zelvar, despite his years of experience, had never felt such pressure. The galaxy stood at a crossroads. War or peace, and humanity was giving them a choice. The Galactic Council chamber was silent. The message from the human warship repeated on the main screen. We are here to talk. Stand down. It was not a threat. It was not a demand. It was a simple statement. Yet it sent waves of confusion and fear through the assembled alien leaders. Captain Zelvar turned to Supreme Chancellor Orvis. What do we do? Orvis exhaled slowly. His sharp reptilian eyes studied the warship's still image on the screen. We talk. Vortex slammed a metal fist on the table. This is a trick. A warship that large does not come just to talk. Lethana raised a hand. And yet, they have not fired. They showed us their weapons but did not attack. That is not the action of an invader. It is a message. The council murmured among themselves. Orvis leaned forward. Then let us answer that message. Open a channel. A transmission was sent. The screen flickered before stabilizing. A human figure appeared, tall, broad-shouldered, and wearing a dark uniform. His piercing blue eyes studied them calmly. I am Commander Elias Kane of the Terran Defense Fleet. The human spoke. His voice was deep and steady. We come in peace. Silence. Orvis straightened. Then why bring a warship to our borders? Kane did not smile. Because peace is only respected when backed by strength. Murmurs spread through the council. Lethana tilted her head. That sounds like a threat. No, Kane said. It is a truth. One you already know. You do not respect weakness. You would never listen to a helpless species, so we came prepared. His words struck deep. The council had seen countless weaker civilizations fall under their control. But humanity was different. Zelvar cleared his throat. Then what do you want, Commander Kane? The human leaned forward slightly. An alliance. Now the council was truly shocked. Vortex growled. Why would we ally with a species that has just arrived in the galactic scene? Kane's expression remained unreadable. Because war is coming. Orvis narrowed his eyes. From whom? The human warship remained motionless outside their borders, its weapons still visible, a quiet, undeniable warning. Kane's voice was calm, yet firm. You already know the answer. A heavy silence fell over the chamber. Every leader did know. A darker force was rising in the galaxy, one that even the council feared. And humanity. They had come ready. The chamber remained silent. Every leader in the Galactic Council knew what Commander Kane meant. For decades, the Council had been at the top, governing weaker species, expanding their influence, and maintaining the illusion of peace. But something had changed. An enemy had emerged, one that even their strongest fleets couldn't stop. Orvis leaned forward. You claim war is coming. Explain. Kane's blue eyes darkened. The Varak swarm. The room erupted into chaos. Council members shouted over one another, their voices filled with alarm and denial. The Varak are myths. Vortex bellowed, slamming his fist against the table. We crushed them centuries ago. Another leader argued. Kane didn't react. He simply waited. When the voices settled, he spoke again. No, you didn't, he said calmly. You pushed them back. You delayed them, but they were never defeated. A holographic display activated beside him, revealing a dark region of space at the galaxy's edge. This, Kane continued, is the outer rim 3 standard months ago. A hologram zoomed in, showing burned planets, shattered fleets, and wreckage floating in empty space. Silence. Then Lethana whispered, This was the Ketheri Empire. Kane nodded. Was. The council sat frozen. The Ketheri were a warlike species, known for their brutality. And yet, they had been wiped out. Completely. No distress signals. No survivors. Just silence. Zelvar swallowed hard. How do we know this was the Varak? Kane's expression was unreadable. Because we found one of their ships. Another image appeared. A twisted organic vessel. Black as night, covered in writhing veins and spiked tendrils. The Varak are not just returning, Kane said. They are evolving. Orvis clenched his jaw. And you came to us because... The human leaned forward slightly. Because we know how to stop them. Tension filled the room. For centuries, the Galactic Council had looked down on humanity, treating them as an emerging race, unworthy of attention. Now, humanity held the key to their survival. Kane's voice was calm, but there was no mistaking the weight behind his words. You can either fight alongside us, he said, or die alone. Silence gripped the chamber. The Galactic Council had always prided itself on power. Their fleets controlled entire star systems. Their technology surpassed countless civilizations. And yet, the images on the holographic display told a different story. The Ketheri were gone. Entire worlds erased from existence. Their war fleets reduced to dust. The Varak swarm had returned, and only one species had seen it coming. Commander Kane's blue eyes scanned the room, studying the fear in the alien leaders' faces. You have 2 choices, he said, his voice steady. Stand with us and fight, or wait for the Varak to burn your worlds to ash. The tension was suffocating. Orvis, the council's senior member, exhaled sharply. You expect us to trust you, after centuries off. Being ignored. Kane interrupted. His tone didn't change. After centuries of being underestimated. Yes, I do. A murmur rippled through the chamber. The humans were dangerous. The humans were unpredictable. But the humans had survived. And now, they were offering a chance at survival to the rest of the galaxy. Zelvar, the insectoid leader of the Kryn Dominion, tapped his mandibles together. How do we know you're not using fear to manipulate us? Kane smirked. You don't. His answer unsettled the room. But then, another hologram activated, one that sent chills through every council member. A live transmission from a deep space outpost. A battered station, alarms blaring. The audio crackled. This is Outpost Echo 4, under attack. Massive biological vessels. They're everywhere. Requesting. A deafening screech cut the message short. Then static. Then nothing. Kane turned back to the council. That transmission was 4 hours ago. Lethana's green skin paled. And the fleet we sent there. The human's expression was cold. Gone. For the first time in millennia, the Galactic Council felt something unfamiliar. Fear. Kane leaned forward, resting his hands on the table. His voice, calm yet unyielding, carried the weight of a species that had spent centuries preparing for this moment. This is your last warning, he said. You can argue. You can hesitate. But the Varak won't wait. They are coming. Orvis' fists clenched. And if we refuse? Kane's smirk returned. Then we'll do what humans do best. He stood tall, stepping back toward the exit. We'll survive. The council sat frozen, realization sinking in. Humanity wasn't here to beg for help. They were offering a single chance. And if the council was too proud to accept, then humanity would fight alone. Because they always had. And they always won.